class. I'm your new sub, Mr. Earl. And what class is this?
This is English class.
Well, not anymore. This is bio now. Today, we're going to talk about the beauty of photosynthesis. Can you read?
Yeah, photosynthesis.
Can you please read this out for me?
Which part?
Chloroplast.
Okay, so chloroplast. The chemical reaction.
Too slow! Hurry up!
The chemical
You know what? What's your name?
Gerald.
You're reading it out now.
The chemical reactions that occur during photosynthesis take place within the plant cell in structures called chloroplast.
What do you want, a round of applause? Huh? Why can't you do it? Oh, hates class. Hey, my job.
Well, class, I was just kidding. I need the job. I also need the money. My dog, family. You know, it all depends on this job. So, as I was saying, visible light. You don't need that. That's physics mumbo jumbo. Chlorophyll. It's a main pigment which absorbs red and blue light. Reflects yellow and green light. Who cares, right? Anyways, we're gonna have a pop quiz about this, but don't worry about that. Outer membrane. Semi-permeable membrane. Does not let larger molecules like protein pass. Pretty much it. Inner membrane. It's around stroma. What else do you want to know? Thylakoid. They're interconnected. Oh, that's new. I never knew that. Anyways, moving on to the stroma. Colorless fluid. You got that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's a stroma?
It's a colorless fluid.
Oh, you're so good. You're gonna ace this pop quiz. Get to go home. You know. That's it. We'll talk about this next time. So, back to you, Bob.
Thanks, Mr. Earl. We're going to cover the two chemical reactions that occur during photosynthesis. There's the light-dependent reaction and the light-independent reaction. The light-dependent reaction occurs in the thylakoid, and it's the conversion of light energy to chemical energy. The second chemical reaction is the Calvin cycle, and it also takes place in the chloroplast, but it takes place in the stroma, and it uses the NADPH and ATP made in the light-dependent reaction to create glucose.
Light-dependent reaction. Light-dependent reaction takes place in the thylakoid. It's the absorption of a photon leads to formation of ATP and NADPH, and it also occurs in stages or steps.
Back to you, Mr. Earl.
Thanks, Bob 1 and 2. Although someone did take my sunglasses, we'll be moving on. Light-dependent reaction. Step 1. Bonds that are broken in water create oxygen, free electrons, and hydrogen. Step 2. The free electrons move to photosystem 2, which is shown in this diagram. And then we'll be moving on to photosystem 1, which is the next step, which is step 3. They are transferred to an electron transfer chain, which is ETC, not etc., ETC. A short summary would be low energy electrons transferring from photosystem 2 to photosystem 1. Step 4. Photosystem 1 takes in low energy electrons from photosystem 2 and re-energizes them. Then they are then passed to an ETC to be used to reduce NADP electron carrier to NADPH.
So these are the steps to the Calvin cycle. There are three major steps. The first step is carbon fixation. Carbon fixation is when CO2 is attached to the ribulose biphosphate, RUBP, and this results in a 6-carbon molecule, which splits into 2 PGA3 carbon molecules. Step 2 is reduction. Reduction uses electrons from NADPH and ATP, so the products from light-dependent reaction, to reduce carbon dioxide. G3P, which is glyceroldehyde 3-phosphate, moves on to the next step in the Calvin cycle, but it also leaves to make glucose later. Okay. Step 3, regeneration, is the last and final part of the Calvin cycle before it keeps on cycling again. It is the regeneration of ribulose 1,5-biphosphate, and it uses 3 ADP, and 5 G3P are recycled.
back with the Calvin cycle. And for every 3 turns of the Calvin cycle, 5 molecules of G3P are used to create 3 molecules of RUBP. The remaining G3P is used to make glucose, glycerol, or fatty acids. It takes 2 molecules of G3P to produce 1 molecule of glucose phosphate. The Calvin cycle has to cycle 6 times to produce 1 molecule of glucose. It takes 2 molecules of G3P to produce 1 molecule of glucose phosphate. That being said, glucose phosphate is a starting molecule for the synthesis of starch and cellulose. As you can see in this diagram, glucose phosphate, you can remove phosphate, add fructose, and that will create sucrose as the outcome.